Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 tips on how to survive wild animal attacks. Animals can be cute and harmless. However, there are some animals you should never mess with that seriously end up injuring people every year. But with these handy tips, you can transform yourself into a survival genius and never need to fear any animal again. Before we get into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming in at number 10, we have elephants. Elephants are one animal with a pretty good reputation. They're seen as big, majestic, and innocent. Now, they may be big and majestic, but elephants aren't always the safest animals to be around. Surprisingly, they cause around 500 people to lose their lives each year. However, one reason why this is because people don't know what an angry elephant looks like. When a person gets angry, their face goes red and wrinkly, but with an elephant, it's not that simple. If you see an elephant's trunk curled and their ears pulled back, this shows they're about to charge and crush you. If it's too late and they're already about to do this, then do not run. It might sound crazy, but this makes them feel scared and threatened. The best thing to do is to quickly walk behind an object, such as a large rock or a tree. This can hide you and separate you from the elephant at the same time, but before approaching any elephant, check two things. Is it female, and does it have kids with it? While in humans, males have a reputation for being macho and sometimes aggressive, this is true for females when it comes to elephants. It's always best to avoid female elephants, especially ones with kids, as they're super protective and may think you're a threat to their kids. Next up is sharks. Ever since Jaws, sharks have had a very bad reputation. Humans see them as evil, bloodthirsty animals that are out to get you. However, this is actually a bit of an overstatement. Sharks only take 7 people's lives a year, which isn't much compared to elephants' 500. The best thing to do if you see a shark in the water is surprisingly stay calm, as they're likely not interested in you. Despite what you see in movies, there are 440 shark species out there, but only 20 of those species go for humans. However, if you run into a shark belonging to one of those 20 species that go for humans, it can be hard to get away. You might think swimming as fast as you can would work, but sharks can swim faster than any human ever, so this would never work. The best thing to do is to keep facing the shark so that you look like a predator, not prey. But if you do get caught by a shark, then try and hit them in their eyes and gills, as these are the weakest areas in a shark's body. The number one thing that attracts sharks to areas is when somebody's peed or bled into the water. They can sense this from over 12 miles away, so be sure to keep your bodily fluids to yourself. Next up, we have dogs. Dogs can be nice, friendly animals. After all, that's why they're America's most popular pet. However, some pooches are not to be messed with, such as wild dogs and certain pet dog breeds which are dangerous too. If a dog is barking at you and showing aggression, don't be scared, but don't be overly confident either. Fear and aggression will make the dog more ferocious. Also, don't run away from the dog, as this will make you look weak. Instead, move slowly with your body turned away from the dog. The best thing to do if a dog jumps on you is to block it with a stick or rock or even your own jacket. Sometimes throwing something like a stick in the opposite direction can confuse the dog and give you time to flee. However, if the dog is definitely going to bite you, then hold out your left arm if you're right-handed or your right arm if you're left-handed. This will leave your main hand and your 2 legs to defend yourself with. But be sure to get your arm checked out by a doctor afterwards, even if it's not hurting too bad. This is because some dogs, especially violent ones, sometimes carry diseases such as rabies. Unfortunately, dogs can sometimes be very ferocious, but these tips are the best bet at surviving any bad encounter with an angry dog. Next up is bees. Bees are very useful for pollinating plants and making honey. However, they can also be a real pain and get on your nerves. And we all know that bee stings are not nice either. Believe it or not, bees take the lives of 22 people each year. This mostly happens when people go too near to a bee's hive. A good tip if you're going to an area with bees is to wear white, as it repels bees. However, wearing black attracts them, so don't do that. Bees like dark clothing, but they don't like dark places, so if you're getting chased or followed by a bee or bees, then hide out in a shady or dark place. Not only do they not like this, the lack of light also confuses them, as they have terrible vision in the dark. But the main objective of a bee's life is to protect its hive queen by any means necessary. You can spot the queen bee by a mark which is sometimes on them. If you see this, then stay well away, as the slightest move near it could be seen as aggression, and then the entire hive will be chasing you down. Next up is alligators and crocodiles. Alligators and crocodiles are common around the world, and are even famous in America in the state of Florida. They have a pretty bad reputation for getting easily agitated, and this may be fair, seeing as they take around 50 lives a year. One thing you can't do if you get caught by an alligator is break free, as they have the strongest teeth and jaws out of any other animal. The best thing to do is to aim for their eyes if you've ever been grabbed. This can sometimes put them off, causing them to loosen their jaw, allowing you to escape. But before it gets to that and you've just seen one crawling towards you, move slowly and make as little noise as you can. And the most important thing is to not run in a straight line, but in a zigzag. Alligators get confused by this and often give up, as the way their bodies are designed doesn't let them move like this. Another top tip is to never create water splashes near a crocodile or alligator. This appears aggressive to them, and then this can cause them to strike. And while it may be tempting to start screaming when you see a crocodile sneaking up on you, don't. Loud noises will make you look like an aggressive creature, which causes crocodiles to attack. Next up is jellyfish. Jellyfish may just seem like harmless blobs you find washed up on beaches, but depending on the variety, they can be super dangerous and take over 40 lives a year. There isn't too many things you can do to stop them getting in your way at the beach, but there are some easy and effective ways to stop a jellyfish sting from stinging. Despite what many people say, one thing not to do is pee on the sting, as this is an urban myth. The best thing to do is to use salt water from the sea to wash the burn, as this will quickly heal it. Sometimes after a jellyfish sting, some parts of the jellyfish get attached to you, so remove it with tweezers or your hands if you have to. And if you have any dock leaves or aloe vera cream, this can be very helpful in reducing the burning and allowing your body to feel normal again. Some make the mistake of thinking that just because a jellyfish is washed up, it's not alive anymore and is harmless. But if you ever see a washed up jellyfish on the beach, the best thing to do is to stay well away, as it could still sting you. Next up is bulls. Bulls are known for being big and angry. They normally don't take people's lives, except matadors, which does happen every year. You might think one way not to attract a bull would be to avoid wearing red. However, this is a myth, and bulls are pretty much colorblind really. When a bull is nearby, be sure to not make too much motion, as it's movement that causes bulls to get agitated. You can also use things like your hat, jacket, or another item of clothing as a distraction. When a bull is running towards you, throw this and they will get distracted and turn around in the direction you throw it. This is pretty much the only way to avoid getting the bull's horns, as they're very fast and weigh a ton. But thankfully with these tips you don't have to have matador training to get away from a bull. Next up is lions. Lions are the kings of the jungle, but you can't let them know that, as if you run into them you have to act like a predator, not prey. This means you should make eye contact and never move your eyes or body away from it. If you face away from a lion, it will see you as an easy target and pounce. You can use your arms or jacket to make you look bigger and scarier, which often puts lions off. Sometimes even letting out a loud roar like a lion also puts lions off the idea of attacking you. Making loud noises and speaking in a loud voice to a lion also works well and helps you to keep calm. And above all, loud noises actually annoy lions. So if you're loud enough, they will find you very annoying and hopefully leave you alone. Next up is bears. Bears are very common in Europe, Russia, and the USA. There are 750,000 black bears in the USA alone, so if you run into one, it's important to know what to do. If you see a bear, then try and keep moving, but slowly and quietly. Also, do not run or face away from the bear completely, as this will cause it to see you as prey. People who run are often attacked, as they're seen as easy pickings. You see, just because bears look big and fat doesn't mean they can't travel at speeds of over 30 miles an hour. If you think a bear's about to pounce on you, there is one thing you can do. Pretend not to be alive, which will make the bear confused, or you can curl into a ball with your hands over your neck. This will allow you to be safe and secure, as bears don't often target such small things. Some people freak out or make the mistake if a bear tosses them about, but it's always best just to let them shake you up a little, as they're simply trying to figure out if you're dangerous or not. Next up we have snakes. We all know snake friends that everyone wants to avoid. However, actual snakes can be super scary as well. 80% of people bitten by snakes are bitten while trying to capture them, so I guess that's a start of what not to do. If a snake is nearby on the ground, stomp your feet or jump hard on the ground. This will send vibrations to snakes' very sensitive vibration sensors, which will put them off. But if it's too late and you get bitten, do not do what they do in movies and try and suck the poison out. It's best to wash it with water if you have any and call 911 immediately. Check out the poll in the top right corner and vote for the best tip to avoid an animal attack. And guys, for more amazing life hacks, check out my second channel, The Crafty. There'll be a crafty video on screen in a second, so click it and be sure to subscribe too. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.